For the listener's discretion, this podcast contains strong language and adult themes that may not be suitable for children. These are not the views of the radio station or its affiliates.
Can we stop the arguing? Can we take a moment where we can calm down? It's just so exhausting. Swinging in the wind, going round and round. I know that we won't say sorry. You beg and I plead, but my heart can't beat until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. I know that we won't say sorry until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations, baby. I see me addressing you. Let me put the smile right onto your face, tracing every inch of you. Using my tongue to find your happy place. I know that we can't play naughty. You beg and I plead, and you pull my heartstrings until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. I know that we won't say sorry until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations, baby. Until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. I know that we won't say sorry until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you.
Hello,
Hello.
you guys. One, hello, my sir, Mr. Chris Lay Media. Thank you for being with me again, sir. Hello to WUBI Ubiquity Radio, all of our viewers and listeners out there who are hearing you. We're putting it in your eardrums out there in over 150 countries. We enjoy you and appreciate you hanging in there with us. We, again, thank you, Facebook, Twitter. Uh, I got to go through it again. Good Lord. I said I'd have a list and I still don't have that list in front of me. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Google, so many more. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Another fabulous week. We are in September now. We're in September. This is moving along. It'll be Thanksgiving and Halloween and Christmas and New Year's and tax time and then summer again.
See, you
And
could have left one of them out. You could have just
what,
left.
tax time?
Yeah, you could have left all that out. Because you naming holidays and I'm good, and all of a sudden you say, now in case you haven't figured it out, tax time is not a holiday.
That is a holiday.
How you figure?
Well, people line up and they do funny things and act crazy and I don't know. It's a holiday.
For somebody,
People
it is
take
not
off from
listed.
work and yeah, it's a holiday. I consider it a
Oh,
holiday. I consider it a
okay.
holiday. How you been, sir? How you been? That's what I want. How you been?
Just doing what I do. That's all. Just going back and forth, taking care of home, and doing everything that's got to be done. That's it. That's it. Getting ready for this AZ Fashion Week with
Okay.
Creative
You froze on
Council.
me for a second. You made me a little nervous. You froze for a second, but you're back with me.
I'm back with you.
You're back with me. You're back with
Can
me.
you see me? All right, good. Now I'm
Okay. You
getting
got
ready to
a
do
b-boy
something with
look.
Lux and say again.
I said you had a little b-boy look to you, but go ahead. You're doing something with Lux?
Hey,
No, I
right,
shouldn't
Lux
have
and
said.
City and
Okay.
Creative Council be doing different things this this, so that's coming up. And so I'm doing a lot of things with from the photography and cinematography side. So that's
Okay.
going to be interesting.
Hey, Catherine. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, she says to everyone out there, I appreciate you being out there with us and rocking the comments down there. I appreciate that. Hey, Carol. Always good to see you, sis. One of our loyal and day ones. Do appreciate that. We're going to have some good information for you today. Definitely. Definitely with one of our Empowered Magazine people. What's up, Erica? One of our other Empowered Magazine honorees is back with us.
That's
I
right.
always love
Hey.
back. I love it, love it, love it. Do appreciate you all because we have Miss Doretta Thomas is with us today, insurance agent. That's such a I don't know. I hate to say normal type of word when she is far more than that. Just far more than that. I like to juice stuff up and make it extraordinary and all like spectacular sounding because she's more than just an insurance agent. She's just more than that. And so if it's coming out Moni's mouth, just know it's getting ready to be it's getting ready to be more than just talking about insurance. So just understand that. Catherine says excited to hear the read story and information tonight. Yes, honey, you're in for a ride and you're in to hear more than just talking about, people hear insurance and everything. Oh, I'm gonna go get some coffee. Get you some coffee to wake up because this is going to be information on another level. Okay. It's going to be explained to you in a way that you're going to have takeaways. You're going to have some immediate takeaways from this because your girl here. I need you to be able to use some of this information. We can do the talk over your head stuff another time, and then you can contact her if you need to know something more very specific or things like that. But I need for it to be relatable to you. Okay. That's what we're going to do. And she is quite relatable. She's human being. She's about the people, real every day. Right, Chris?
Oh yeah, she's going to tell you some stuff that's going to be the assurance for your insurance. That's how that works. She all right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If you know about insurance,
Right, right. Catherine
and
says,
this is she's right there. Okay.
exactly. Catherine says, anyone who can make insurance make sense is my hero. There it is, right there. I like the word hero. I like that word. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because insurance can be complicated. And just the fact that I don't think people know or probably even care to know, but I'm going to let you know just to become an insurance agent, the things that they have to go through as far as the testing that they have to go through, but all the things and licenses they have to acquire is just, ugh, Jiminy Christmas. I don't even want to think about it, honey. I don't even want to think about it. It's so in depth that it's not ridiculous. It's important. So the knowledge base is just above and beyond. So understand that this woman is coming with what the young people don't know, the encyclopedia. Let me say
Ooh, stop! Not
a
an
Twitter full of
encyclopedia.
information. That's right. A
En-
Twitter full of information. Now the young folks know what I'm talking about. A Twitter full of information.
mm,
Okay. So the young people
encyclopedia.
understand
Man,
what I'm saying.
you
The
went
old
way
folks,
back for that one.
yeah, well, that's for us old folks. Encyclopedia full of information. For the young folks, a Twitter full of information. Okay. Now they
Twitter
understand the
full of
magnitude of
information.
it. A Twitter full of information in reference to insurance that people can understand. So let me I can remember my first touch with insurance and let me just say how I fucked it up. Okay. Let me just tell you how I did in my first bout with it as an adult. Because many of you know, because I tell my story, I'm very open about it because I want people to learn from it. Because I have MS and lupus, and from MS, which is multiple sclerosis, and lupus, they're both chronic illnesses, meaning there's no cure. That means that you have them for your life. You have it. You have it, and you have it forever. Um, when you get those diagnoses, that's something that it changes the scope of things in your life. And so my doctor, before giving me the diagnosis on paper, I was 20 something years old, and he said, I want to give you the opportunity to get your affairs in order. And I'm thinking, what's that mean? What I mean? Right. Shake your head, Chris, because I mean, us now, we know what that means. But
We
back
know what
then,
that means, right?
right, back then, I didn't know what that meant. What that mean? get my affairs in order. I don't know what the hell that means. But what that actually meant was, to go get insurance and go get, all these things that once he puts this down, it's going to be difficult for me to get a lot of that stuff once that's on my medical record. It's going to be a little bit harder or more expensive for me to get these things. So I didn't do those things, which made it much harder. Um, but once that diagnosis was there and I started getting sick, because then I was blind for a year and I was in a wheelchair for a year, and just all these things started happening to my body, which again, I'm very open, very honest about. And I was going to share this with you guys. Honesty. You see it has a little glare on it. There it is. From MS Society, a campaign I did afterwards. And those are my boys. You can see how young they were back then. I see them, Malik. But, and I'll just give you a brief synopsis. This was after I had been in a wheelchair and I'd gone blind, and I was married to their father back then. And I was in my early 20s, because my boys were maybe 5, 6, that type of thing. And I was hopeless. I felt hopeless and I felt very despair and just, and so I attempted suicide twice at that point. And on the last one, uh, I called the MS Society. I don't even know how I got the number. I honestly don't. I didn't know what the MS Society was or whatever. But however, I got the number. I got the number, and they called my husband and called the EMTs or whatever, and they came and took me and actually saved my life in that time. And so from there, when I got out of the hospital and after getting care, I went in and started volunteering with the MS Society and getting help and resources and whatnot from them. And from that point, and they were like, well, would you tell your story? Would you talk to other people and whatever? Because when you look at me, you think, oh, nothing wrong with her. She's just like everybody else or whatever. On the mental standpoint, on the physical standpoint, on all of these things, because I was highly educated, and I had this awesome looking husband and these great looking kids and this great looking life. And we lived in this affluent area and all these other types of things. So you would think, perfect. And it was far from that, because you would think behind those great gates, these things wouldn't happen. And so I was like, of course I'll share, because this is real life shit right here. This is what it looks like. This is what depression looks like. This is what, losing hope looks like. This is what pain looks like. This is what all these things look like. And from that day, I've continued to share, because, that's how you can miss it sometimes. This is how, those things happen. And so I just happen to be moving some stuff around. And that's how old this is. I mean, because my boys are now uh, 28 and 26. And so that's how long ago that was. But I still suffer from depression. And when we were talking, was it last week when we were talking about that I'm in menopause and,
Mm-hmm.
and literally was going to have myself committed, because I didn't know what was going on in my freaking head, and having all these issues with my depression again and my anxiety again and like losing my mind or whatever. And so I still obviously keep this because I remind myself and those type of things. And I talk to people and I have these safety measures put in place, and they call them a safety plan, to try and cue yourself on what's going on, and because it can get away from you so fast and whatever. And so I've always tried to stop and talk to people and different things like that, because again, you just never ever know. And when we get back to the insurance part of it, uh, the fact of, I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and the pandemic has changed things so drastically with mental health. um, a lot of, not just here, because she's on the East Coast, a lot of the mental health facilities have closed their physical locations. I don't know if you know that, Chris.
I do.
Well,
I do.
and which has disheartened me that they've closed a lot of their physical locations, but and you just do telemed or whatever now. Disheartened me, and the way insurance is functioning with those types of things, and anyway, has disheartened me. But get find someone, an advocate of some type, or someone, even if it's in the conversation we have today, and find out how you can look at the insurance plan you have, and if you know or think that you have these issues, and find out what the coverage is for the mental health part of it. Because I know when I've had jobs, that's never, that part of it's never discussed. Never discussed. I can remember all the jobs I've had, and I worked in HR before, HR and recruiting, and it's never discussed. You talk about your dental, you talk about your vision. We never talk about mental health.
Well, you know why that is.
Why is that, Chris?
The phobia. The phobia.
The stigma.
Because under the stigma, yeah. What you've got is you've got people who are out here. I think there might be something wrong, but I'm not quite sure. Who do I talk to? How do I talk to them? So you have that problem. Then you have the other problem of once I talk to them, who else is this going to affect? Then you have the issue of the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If insurance finds out, and this is again the stigma, if insurance finds out that I'm taking this medication because of my depression, are they going to cover it? Are they not going to cover it? Am I going to be able to get insurance if I'm on a
Or keep
certain
my
type of
job.
medication? Right. That was the next thing I was coming to. Okay. Or even if I get to keep my job or even get hired, all of these things. All right. They tell me it's safe. Don't worry about it. It's a plan that you can use from the job. Call our mental health people at 1-800. I got you,
Mm.
and you will take care of it. And then the people at 1-800 I got you, somehow mysteriously that information disappears.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing
Or
you
it's
know,
compromised.
well, again, compromised.
Yeah.
Okay. And here you go. Now your business is out there. People don't want that. So
Right.
they're very afraid to say too much to too many. And we
Absolutely.
have and then see that's what I like about the fact that we have somebody who is knowledgeable about the insurances who can give us a little insight
On how it really works, what the
on
real
the
deal
ins
is.
right what the deal is with it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what we need. We need to
Because
share that
these are real
information.
concerns. These are real concerns that real people have that
Hmm.
may have really happened back in the day, and or is just, let me just say what it is, on the stoop BS talk that used to go around. Okay.
Hmm.
But sometimes that's just what it is.
Right, right.
Sometimes it happened to one person and then we just sit on the stoop and we repeat that bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. And then sometimes,
What it is.
you have to remember we're listening to to the generation before us. There was a
Right.
time when the insurance man would come to your house to pick up the
Yes. I
premium.
remember that. Yep.
Right. The
Absolutely.
insurance man would come to the house to pick up the premium,
Mm-hmm.
just like the man who came to the house and picked up the money for them plastic chair, for them that hard plastic cover that they put on Big Mama's chair.
I
All
can't.
right.
I cannot with you.
What? And then don't forget the guy who sold you the encyclopedias. He was
Mm-hmm.
coming to get his $2 every 2 weeks. Everybody had their hand out.
Right.
Well, is my insurance really going to cover me? What is my insurance all about? Nobody knows. They just
Right.
know they have to have it.
Right.
Then they're
Right.
afraid of what they have to do to get it if they need it.
Right. Because by that time it's too late.
Hmm.
I've always, now I'm gonna keep it 100. And I can see it down there in our virtual waiting room. The Gerber baby plan or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
It's been around forever
yeah.
and a day. And it's been around forever and a day. Is that shit real? Is
Well,
it
I
real?
got you. I got another one for you. Ready for this?
Yeah,
And
what?
it's gonna get everybody mad, and I don't care. Okay, it's the Gerber baby plan, right? Now,
Right.
I thought it was other for other folks because I never saw a black baby on that screen. Okay, the Gerber plan. I never saw a brown child on that screen, so I thought it wasn't for us.
Okay.
I thought it was for other folks because oh cool, wow, look at the Gerber baby plan. Yeah,
Right.
okay. I never saw us represented, so as a young adult looking for insurance, I never even looked into it because it was made out that it was for other people.
Okay. I can see that you would think that because the advertisement said this is who it's for, not you.
The Gerber baby plan. Okay.
I can see where you're coming
So
from with
there
that.
you go.
Well, it's almost time for us to bring our guest in. Catherine, you said thank you for being so real, Moni. Very so important to break down those stereotypes. You're very welcome. Like I said, I try to, even before this show came along, I try to be very open and honest with those things. You know, it happens to me, it happens to others. I just choose to put mine on out there because it's just real stuff. It absolutely is. It is 7:20. It is time to bring our guest on board.
Da, da,
Are you ready?
da.
Join us. Absolutely. I wish I did have some music to bring our guest on in. Let's bring her on in with us. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All
Ladies and
music
gentlemen,
from
entering
on
the
in.
studio now, Miss Doretta Thomas.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Insurance is assurance.
That's right. That's right.
See, I knew I heard that someplace before. See, I knew I heard. See, y'all thought I was joking when I said it.
No, I got that from you. I just got that from you.
See?
Well,
See
insurance
what's
is
listening?
assurance then. Okay. Let's run with it. Let's run with it.
Hey, thank you, Catherine.
So now, before we get too into it, we have our first question that we ask everyone that comes on from the magazine. How does it feel to have your story featured in Empowered Magazine?
Oh my gosh, it was wonderful. I'll never forget, like when the CEO of Sisterhood Extravaganza, said, "Hey, you need to be a part of this. People need to hear your story." And I kept putting her off, like, "No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm doing too much. I got too much going on." And so she's like, "No, you're gonna get this. You're gonna do this."
Oh, so the insurance line that you use, she used back on you.
You're going to get this.
That's
You gonna
it.
get this. You
You
gonna
gonna
get
get
this.
You getting this today. Okay. I'm like, okay. But it was wonderful. It was surreal. I mean, just to be with women of all nationalities and just different professions. It was great. It was really a dream come true. And I love sharing with other women in their success because it lets me know, hey, I can do it too. Like you said about the Gerber baby, if you never see anybody representing you, you never know you can do it.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, it was for the Gerber baby, but like, did it cover the Gerber parents? I don't know. I know it's for the baby. I don't...
Yeah. And we're gonna talk about Gerber. We're gonna talk about Gerber too.
Okay.
Yep. We're gonna talk about Gerber.
All right. So the stage is yours.
Okay. Well, basically, as I was sitting listening to you guys, it was just like I was writing all this stuff down. So let's start Gerber baby. Okay, yeah, we've never had a African American Gerber baby. They did have a Down syndrome baby, but they've never had, one that we could identify with. And I do sell Gerber plans for children. Yeah, for children who would not possibly get insured with my main companies. And then also Gerber actually has a plan for people who are between 50 and 80 and they're guaranteed issue. So they don't ask questions. So yeah, Gerber is cool. Gerber is still out there, still doing what they do. And yeah, somebody do need to put in their ear. We need to see some people of color.
So, and then also tell them they need to do something with that baby food. Okay.
One thing at a time, Chris.
Okay. Because I think it'll increase their bottom line if they put a little peach cobbler up in there. But I'm just saying.
Little banana pudding,
right.
Struggles now.
Red velvet cake. See, that's why they can't have us on.
That's why they can't have us.
We having fried chicken.
That's it. Fried chicken, surprise. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Our poor baby be like
Like
Bam Bam. Y'all remember Bam Bam?
Yeah, but healthy. But healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Healthy.
Ain't missed a meal.
Oh, have mercy.
Exactly. And then we talked, I heard you guys with some other things you were talking about, Moni, everything that you've gone through. Thank you again. Like the young lady said, thank you for being transparent. I too have dealt with mental health and suicide in my family. My youngest child just died last year, July 15th, by
Sorry.
suicide.
Condolences.
And he had mental health issues. And I remember my best friend took my phone. She had my phone for like 2 weeks. And I told her, when people call, you tell them the truth. When you call people, when you call the different pastors and the different friends, you tell them, you know, Micaiah died by suicide. Because again, in the church community, in the Black community, it's been, like you said, it's taboo. We don't want to talk about it. But no, I said, no. We're going to share this because people need to understand. I don't care where you're from. Like you were saying, Mona, you can be in the gated community and you can be living in total hell in that gated community. You know, I have a lot of wealthy friends, and my God, you just don't know what they go through. They just got money to camouflage it. So yeah, you know, I wanted it to be out there, and I wanted to be transparent because that's what he wanted. You know, he had friends, he had fraternity brothers, and he always shared that with them. So yeah, you know, we definitely wanted people to know so then they could get help.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, see, that's the thing that I find interesting, because in my own struggle, what I'm looking at is insurance for a loved one.
Uh-huh.
And they're in a nursing facility temporarily. And it is, I mean, it's like, okay, good. Everything fixed. Get out. You know, like, what, wait. But you don't know it's fixed. You haven't done any OT, PT. You know, the only thing you know is OUT. Okay. And the thing is, like, wait. We don't know what's working, what's not working. And then they're sitting there with the clock. You have 35 days left to go. Really? No, you can't do that. So there's always that extended insurance that you're looking for. You're looking for that extended insurance. And as soon as you say Medicaid, or as soon as you say something, all of a sudden it's like, we don't take that. All right.
Right.
Are they not accredited? Are they? There was a term that they used the other day. Some term that I can't even remember right now, but basically it meant that they weren't in network.
Okay. Yeah. In
Right.
network or yeah, out of network. But now with health insurance, that's a little bit different
Okay.
because yeah, with health insurance, you're right. They give you so much money to spend. And then after you've exhausted that, you're right. That clock is going 30, 30, 31, 32. 30. Okay, you've exhausted it. So yeah, you're right. And now with life insurance, if you're trying to get someone life insurance that's in a nursing home, you got, like I said, Gerber and you got Colonial Penn, and that's it. Because you need a company that is guaranteed issue, and that means they only ask maybe 2 questions. Are you living? Are you breathing? And are you, yeah.
But see,
Basically, that's
Colonial,
it.
right? But Colonial Penn did something that Gerber didn't do.
What?
Colonial Penn put the brother up front.
Yeah, they do. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
they put the.
Now, the only thing with Colonial Penn is that I will say this with Colonial Penn, and I used to sell Colonial Penn, but Colonial Penn sells in units. So you got 1 unit for $9.95. You got 2 units. You got, now depending how old you are, every age goes up, then the units go down. You can only get so much insurance. Colonial Penns, they're not racking out 50,000 or 100,000. No, you're looking at 10,000, 8,000. I know when my mother had, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I was going through her paperwork, and she had this old policy from a Black company, Chicago Metropolitan, many years ago. It was $1,000 policy. I'm like, whoo, what are we gonna do with that? But again, Chris, like you said, the insurance man would come. She say, Doretta, go get the insurance man the envelope, her little money in the envelope. But they believed in that. But so when I took over her affairs, I was like, okay, this ain't gonna cut it. So I went to Colonial Penn back then, and I was able to get her maybe, I think, 6,000 more. But again, yeah, I always tell people something is better than nothing. But the key is, Moni, like you said, is getting it early when we're healthy and when we're young. But a lot of times we don't think about it because, oh, we have this, I'm going to be healthy forever. And we don't think, oh, one day I can walk into the doctor's office and my whole world can be turned upside down.
Yes.
So
Right.
we don't think like that. And your doctor was really cool to even say to you, hey, before I put this on your record, you go get some life insurance, because he is right. If once he puts those things on your record, it's hard to get insurance. Some things you can still get insurance, but they're going to raise you.
Yeah.
They may rate you, or it may just a regular declination. Anytime someone have had mental health issues and it's on their record that they have attempted suicide, that's an automatic declination. Nobody will touch them. Nobody would touch them until they get 50, and again can go to Colonial Penn or Gerber, because they don't ask those questions. But so you have to be careful, and people don't understand that you can actually go to your doctor. That's what the HIPAA is for, and you can ask to see what's on your record. Because a lot of times, doctors may put, I had one years ago, I had a lady who sister had just been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So she asked her doctor, should she take the test? So her doctor just casually wrote in a note, hey, just talked about sister just had Alzheimer's. She wants to know if she could take the test. Well, my company then declined her. So then we had to go back. The doctor had to write a letter and say, look, she doesn't have it. She was just asking me. So again, you got to have, like you said, a good doctor in your corner, because doctors put all kinds of things in our records.
Right.
Could be, appear, maybe. Hey, and insurance company, I don't care who they are. And a doctor's word is God's word. So you want to make sure what you've got in your records, but I can't, say it enough. You need to get it when you're younger, when you're healthy, because once you get a certain age, I don't care how healthy you are, you're still older.
Right.
So, yeah.
Gee, thanks. Glad to hear that. Wow, you busted my whole bubble. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care how healthy you are. You old.
Yeah.
You know what? Hold on. Let me call Planet Fitness and cancel mine, because and obviously they ain't gonna help me none. Right.
No, you need to keep Planet Fitness, because you need to be, your height and weight still needs to be in proportion.
To what?
Your BMI.
Because they still ask those questions.
They still ask. Yep. And now after COVID, some insurance companies have really gotten picky with those little things like the height and weight, diabetes, hypertension and cholesterol and all that.
After COVID?
And then if you've had COVID, along with those things,
I want to cuss.
Look, I do too, because I had a lot of clients decline. But it's true. It's true.
You need to kiss my ass.
Wait.
Are
you know
you
what?
kidding me?
They need to have mine for dessert after they kiss yours.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
like, here's the thing. Okay, now let's be realistic.
Okay.
COVID was real.
Mm-hmm.
COVID was so real, okay, that a black man could walk into a bank with a mask on and nobody would bother him. Okay, that's how real COVID was. COVID was so real, he made the mouse close his house. Okay, Disney shut everything down. COVID was so real, it shut down Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you mean to tell me that because now I'm locked in my house for 2 years, eating Doritos and eating Haagen-Dazs ice cream, okay, while I'm working my remote job that you made me work, okay, now that I'm 60 pounds heavier than I was, but that's okay, I'm doing your job, but now I can't get insurance because my BMI don't meet what the FBI says about the CIA and all these other three-letter organizations. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yep, you are absolutely correct. height and weight has always been on our applications on some policies, especially when you start getting into larger policies. And here's the thing.
I'm glad you said larger policies, not larger people, because you scared me for a minute. She said larger.
I was nervous too.
Right. And then that P just hung out there, especially when you get the larger P.
No, when you start getting into the hundreds and thousands of dollars policies, yeah, they're going to be more stringent. And I tell people all the time, it's like credit. It's like a credit. Okay, if you got bad credit, you cannot go into the car on a car lot and get a car for 1%, 2%.
Right.
Okay.
It's going to be 22, 23 or whatever. Okay. Same way. I tell people the same thing. Insurance is just like good credit versus bad credit. Bad health, bad credit. Good health, good credit. So insurance company is not looking to pay out immediately. You couldn't be in business. You couldn't stay in business. So even though we have policies that we know people are going to die, we're not looking for them to die tomorrow. So if you've got a list of stuff that's wrong with you and you're heavy and you are not taking your medicine like you should, because all this stuff, again, usually is in your doctor records. They're going to say, oh, disobedient, isn't taking their medicine. And so, no, insurance companies go, we'll pass.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
we're not going to do that. And then also too, I will say this is because I know we were talking about you guys were talking about the medical, the mental health when you have a job. So with mental health and insurance, that's a different thing too. Because like I said, if you have on your record suicide, that's a declination. But no, we do give people insurance that have had mental health issues, anxiety, depression. Now, here's the key. We look at the medication they're taking. See, medication is the key. You can't, if your doctor have you strung out on so many pills and you're just a zombie, no. Because now, after Trump and Pence were in, Pence, he made that rule where the narcotics, you can't get narcotics like you used to. So now everything is by the book. Everything you take, every time you go get that prescription filled, it's noted. And I tell people all the time, if you don't need your medication, tell your doctor to stop prescribing it for you. Tell your pharmacy to stop refilling it. I'll have people who'll say, oh, I just have seasonal asthma. I just when here in Phoenix, just when the monsoon comes and the wind, but yet and still you've had 12 refills over the last year. So you're getting them every month. And then I say, oh, I give them to my niece, or I give, no. See, your niece ain't trying to get insurance. It's you.
Right.
So you have to be careful. When I had cancer in 2018. And so I had to physically get up out of my bed, go to Walgreens and say, hey, look, I'm not taking this stuff. Do not refill this. Tell the doctor, do not send it to you again. Okay, but most people don't know that. You get a refill. Oh, baby, just go pick up grandma's medicine. But you got a whole cabinet full of medicine you're not even using. Well, the insurance companies, they don't know that. They don't know you giving it to your sister who don't have insurance. So it's on you. So now you don't get insured, or you get rated because now you've got medication that you're getting every month. So you have to be careful how many times you get these. Now, if you need your medicine, you need it. Like your high blood pressure medication, your diabetes, of course you need that. But some of these medications, if you don't need them, have them take that off your record. I go through my doctors. They know when I come in. Look, first of all, close that laptop. Don't start typing. Just talk. We talking, just you and I. We gonna talk. And I remember years ago when I had problems with, I started getting high blood pressure, like you were saying with menopause. Boom, my high blood pressure just shot up like crazy. I'm like, what the heck? I ain't never had no high blood pressure. So I told my doctor, I said, look, listen here, give me 3 months. Don't put anything on my doctor's record. Give me 3 months. Let me get it down myself. And I did. I got it down and I kept it down. But that's another thing, Chris, too, is that we got to take responsibility for our own health.
Yes.
When the doctor wants to throw you some medication, no, I'm good. I'm gonna lay off that peach cobbler. I'm gonna lay off, or I'm gonna
I
go
am
to.
not laying off peach cobbler. I am not going to publicly tell. I'm not going to tell that lie.
It was you, Chris. How she know?
I'm going to let you know. I'm not laying off the peach cobbler, and I'm not going to tell that lie.
Then you better go to Planet Fitness.
Keep that Planet Fitness
all day long.
But you know what, Doretta, you were absolutely correct, because when they come to me and the first thing they want to, I said, no, let's talk about what I can do first. And I was just at my ophthalmologist and he was talking, we talking about my eyes. I said, well, okay, let's talk about what I can do first. Because when I had cancer, and I said, what can I do first? And I had a doctor that told me, and she said, and I was so shocked. She was an oncologist. She said, eat colorfully, laugh more, exercise, lower your stress. I said, say what? I was in shock. I was in shock. I was in shock that she didn't try and push some pharmaceutical stuff, because I'm going to try what I can do and make my body work and do what it's supposed to do first, which is supposed to heal itself. That's what the body's supposed to do. Okay. Which we all forget. It's supposed to heal itself. I'm going to try and get it back to make it do what it's supposed to do first. Then if it can't, then we can talk about pushing some drugs. And I have a
hold on.
Shut up, Chris. Shut up, Chris.
We're going to talk about taking drugs. Now, we're not talking about pushing drugs. For the FCC, or y'all listening out there, she didn't mean pushing drugs like that.
I said what I said.
Okay, I just want to be clear about that. Okay.
Hold on. This is what I have to do sometimes. Hold on.
For the listener's discretion, this podcast contains strong language and adult themes that may not be suitable for children. These are not the views of the radio station or its affiliates.
Welcome back to your regular scheduled program.
And Moni said what she said. She meant what she meant. I said what I said. Yeah. Pushing drugs. Okay.
And that's what doctors do.
Exactly. And I said what I said. Yeah. Now, back to what I said. And so when they're pushing these drugs, a lot of times you should always advocate for yourself. And I always want to know what the side effects are going to be and what's going to happen if I stop this medication. I also want to know that. Okay. Because I'm known to stop some stuff. Stop it. I don't want it no more. Or I'll forget. Also, I want to know all of that. Or my insurance may stop covering it, or they may not have it at the pharmacy. Now, what's getting ready to happen? Am I getting ready to end up jacked up? I want to know all these things ahead of time. Like you, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have a conversation. And I have a Black female general practice doctor, and she actually just pulled me off of, when I came in with all these issues with menopause and all this other stuff going on, she pulled me off of all that medication my psychiatrist had me on. She's like, it's too much. It's too much. That's good. And when I talked to the psychiatrist and I was going through that, and she said, well, do we need to increase? I said, you will not increase another anything. I said, you're not going to have me all doped up and lethargic. You and the devil are a liar. We're not going to do that. We can press pause. But she pulled me off of all of it.
And, a lot of stuff, too, is God put plants on the earth. And a lot of these plants are good. They're medicinal. So when you start taking the synthetic man-made stuff, you don't know what's in it, but you know what's in the different plants the fennel, the different things, the anise. There's different plants that have healing properties. But again, we don't go to that like we used to. Now, my mother was the family physician. My mother had everything that you needed. If you needed this, if you needed that, Aunt Selma could get it done for you. And she'd mix that root thing up and boom, you'd be okay. But we don't do that anymore. We're so connected and hooked to our doctors, and we're allowing them to just wreak havoc on our bodies. Our bodies are not meant to have all that stuff. You know.
I have a cardiologist who, Lord bless him too, because I've had 2 heart attacks.
Mhm.
And when he approved, because I went in and I said, well, I'm taking turmeric now. And he said, and you
Mhm.
continue to take that. He said, it's
That's
the
right.
best thing you could ever take. And I said, say what? Because I love
Mhm.
it when they agree with those type of, I know I got a
Yes.
good doctor, who
Mhm.
says,
That's
don't take
right.
natural stuff.
Yep.
When I
Yep.
when I hear them say that, and when they'll come and they're on their off day and they see my name come across there and they come in and in their t-shirt and their jeans and they say, I saw you, I know I'm off, but I saw your name come across and I know you was here. And I
Oh,
want to make sure you got the care you got. I know I got a good
awesome.
doctor,
That's great.
you
That's
know.
great. Yeah, my oncologist is off the chain. He, when I first met him, I interviewed all my doctors. I don't just go to some I interview you. And
Yes.
so I told him, look, I'm plant-based. This, and he just got up, started going to get me things, that I could take, holistically. I told him all this stuff, I got to do chemo, but all this other stuff, man, I'm not doing all that stuff. And he was like, Doretta, I don't blame you. I'm okay. You're, you're healthy outside of your cancer, so you're going to be all right. And just, I just refuse to put a lot of stuff in me that I don't need in me.
Right. And I know that we're all over the place here, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think it's necessary. I do want to jump over to one of those questions that I ask you in
Mhm,
reference to for individuals who are on uh like welfare, and we call it all different types of things, but
mhm.
Medicaid, food stamps, SNAP, TANF, all those types of Section 8, all those types of government assistance that want to have any type of life insurance, and especially a whole life insurance that's going to draw any type of benefit from for them. Um, what can they do? Because a lot of times it's viewed as an asset, of course, and used against them. Can
Yeah.
they have any of that, or what can
They
they
can
do?
have, yeah, they can have life insurance. They will, all of those government entities that you spoke of, they do, and they can find out about it. But you be honest, I do have a whole life policy, or I'm getting a whole life policy. Now, what you can also do is you can uh, make the government uh, over your cash value. You can, sign off your cash value, because say if you have a little bitty policy, it's not growing that much cash value. So it's not going to get to $2,000. $2,000 is usually that magic number where they start pulling you off your food stamps, pulling you off your welfare check, and what have you. If you're on Section 8, they may say, okay, well, this month you need to pay the full amount, because they see you got 2,000 more in that cash value. Okay.
Mhm.
So what you have to do is just make sure that it doesn't get to that part, get to the 2,000 or more. If it does, they will let you know, okay, you need to do what's called a spend down. So then that month, they may not pay for this or pay for that, or either, like I said, you can make them over the cash value, so they're not the beneficiary. They can just take care of the cash value portion. So, yeah. So, again, you can still get insurance. Now, if you're looking to get $100,000 policy, a half a million, then they're gonna say, okay,
That's another thing.
they're gonna say, now why you need that? You on welfare. Why you need that? So it's got to be within reason. A $10,000 policy, $25,000 policy. I just want, if something they're looking for, if something happens to you, you can be buried. That's
Okay.
different than a major policy. Then you're going to have issues, because that cash value is going to grow quick if
Mhm.
you have a larger policy. So usually, if you have like a small final expense policy, you're okay.
So
Yeah.
now is that different than getting a policy where you go to the funeral home and like it prepays or it takes care of your actual
Mhm.
funeral arrangements? Is that different?
Yeah, that's different, because you're not getting cash value from that. So
Okay.
you can do a pre-need policy, and that's different, because you don't get cash value built up with that.
So now what is that called when you go and do that?
Your burial policy, we call them pre-need, but it's a burial, cremation plan, or what have you. So, yeah, but those you don't build cash value. So those you're not going to be bothered by the entities. Now, I will say, like when I have a lot of people who parents are going into all tech. So then they have to, at that point, they have to do, again, what's called a spin down. So say if they do, before they got, where they needed to go on all tech, say they did have a great job, they did have money. So now they've got to spin down, they got to sell the house. This happened to my grandmother. My mother had to sell her house. They had to take care of her until all the money was spent. So same way with the life insurance policies. If you got a big policy and you got big cash value, you have to do the spin down, because again, they're not going to take care of you if you got money sitting somewhere readily available. If you got enough money in that account to go get you a little used car, they ain't doing that. Why should they? That's the way they look at it.
Right.
Yeah. So, everything within reason. And when I have somebody that I know, or they share with me that they are on assistance, then I'll say, okay, well then let's keep it low. And then I can look and see how quickly that cash value is going to grow. And then, we may have to look at something else, do a pre-need or do a burial plan, because you don't want to mess them with your money.
Right. But the fact that it is possible for them to get
it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Most definitely. Oh yeah, we have a lot of clients who have it. Mm-hmm.
But and then one of your specialties is working on generational wealth.
Yes, I believe in it. That's why I started Ladies Leaving Legacies in 2017, because again, we don't look at life insurance as a tool for our next generation, but no. In fact, I have a book here. I said, let me just pull the book up. It's called Money, Wealth, and Life Insurance. And when you get this book, it tells you how, like you said, Mickey Mouse, Walt Disney went to banks all around. Nobody would give him a loan.
Not one dime. That's right.
He had money in his policies, and that's how he started Disney World. So, and I have people, I got this, I got that. I don't care. We have, especially Asians, we have wealthy. When I say wealthy, I mean stupid wealthy. They still get life insurance. Why? Because it's tax-free. And usually, like if you live outside of the country, a lot of these, like Europe, you're taxed on your life insurance. America's the only country you're not taxed on, unless it's over $5 million. But you're not taxed on your life insurance. So why not get it? And it's private. Nobody needs to know who the beneficiaries are.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, I have people, I don't need it. Look, and I just kind of shake my head like, man, if we only knew the power a life insurance policy could do.
I just got chills. Wait a minute. Speak the truth. What?
Yeah, it's amazing. It is. It's it can change a whole generation. It can change a whole generation. I have right a year after my cancer, I got my last policy. And I'm rated. I didn't care if they rated me table Z. I was going to get it because I knew that was the best I could get at the time,
Okay.
And I knew I would never be preferred. All my other policies, I'm preferred. I'm no longer preferred. Again,
now what does that mean? Because we don't,
preferred means you get a better rating, so your premium is lower.
Okay.
The more
it's your credit rating.
It's your
go. It's your credit rating. You got an 8 on some of her insurance. You got an 800 credit score. So she's getting a lower rating.
Now it's about a 550.
Right. She had 478 going, dang, I'm so glad I got in here when I did. Right. See, that's what I was telling you, Moni, about the whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With the
I know what it is. I asked the question. I'm asking it for our viewers who don't know.
But now what people don't know is I didn't get a whole life policy. I got what's called an index universal life policy. Okay. Now those are the bomb. We can have a whole nother segment on that. Those are the bomb. They are policies that build cash value for wealth. That's what
Now
they're
say the
for.
name of that again for people,
It's an
please.
index. It can't be just a regular universal life policy, and it doggone sure can't be a variable. Index mean if you have an index universal life or index annuity, that means you are tied to the S&P on the good side, but never on the bad side. So there's a cap. So say with your life insurance policy, there may be a cap of 13% or 15% or whatever the company says. And then the minimum may be 0 or either a half a point or a quarter of a point, but you never lose. Thank you. You never lose. Whatever you gain, you keep it. And then when if the market goes crazy or whatever, okay, you may go down, but you're never losing it. And the beauty, like I said, is that the cash value builds, and it's built in so that and I tell people all the time, when you get a index universal life policy, what you do is you have to sit and let it marinate. So you can't, when you get your illustration once a year, they send you your sheet, how well it's doing. You'll see oh man, I made this, I made that. Yeah, but you can't take it. I tell people, if you leave your policy alone for 18 to 20 years, if it's a good size policy, that can help you in your retirement. So that's what I did with my last policy. My last policy was an index universal life policy, a big amount, but it's twofold. If I don't need it for retirement, it's for my grandchildren. Because again, I'm building that generational wealth.
Right.
And I've heard TD Jakes and I've heard different people say, oh, well, Steve Harvey, I'm not going to give my kids money. No, they don't need your money because they got your last name. So some of us who they don't have a great name that they can just go in and get this and start walking the catwalk and all this stuff.
Right, right.
That's when you need your life insurance. And that's when you need to give that back to your generation. So with my grandkids, I want them to know that, okay, if you are in college, you can pay your college off. If you're married, you and your wife or husband can buy a new house or whatever, but it just gives them a leg up. If you want to start a business, so many businesses have been started. Master P got $10,000 from his grandfather life insurance. Look where Master P is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't say it enough. Black folks don't listen. They hard. We want to.
Well, that's why slavery lasted so long.
That's what.
That's why slavery lasted so long.
Yeah.
Because we wasn't checking the tree mail. That's what I call it. We wasn't checking. See, now it's email, but see, before it was tree mail. We were trying to educate each other, but some of us weren't listening. So you go ahead and keep preaching because I'm listening.
Yeah. Well, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So again, like I said, I had cancer. I had 2 critical illness policies. I had 2 checks in my mailbox within 20 days. Boom. Unfortunately, my son passed away. He had the index universal life policy. We got those for our children. So when they got 65, they could be well on to being millionaires because we got them at 17 years old. So at 65, look how much money they've made. So
you can get those policies for your children.
Yep. And grandchildren. We have what's called in our office is $1 million baby. If you get a policy on a baby when it's first born and you put in $100 a month, by the time that baby is 65, that baby is a millionaire.
Okay, wait, you say you put in what a month?
$100. Yep. And then what happens is when you teach your children and your grandchildren about insurance and wealth, then like my son now, the twin that's still here, because the twin that passed, the young man that passed, he was a twin. Okay. So the other twin has his policy. And now since he's got his big boy job, he pays $200 a month. He's upped his to $200 a month because he's in finance. So he knows You're like, oh
Right.
no, ma, I'm getting this money. You know,
Mhm.
again, like I said, you know, you don't know what you don't know, but when you know, you need to do better. But again,
Right.
one thing about blacks, and I say it all the time, we want instant gratification. We don't look at the long term. We look
Right.
at instant gratification.
Why I taught my boys the difference in rich and wealthy. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Woo.
rich
Yeah.
is that real fast stuff. That's the real wealth is
Mm-hmm.
deeply rooted in
Yeah.
long term.
That's
You
old
know,
money.
and when we walk into certain rooms, when I would take them to places, different museums, I said, "You smell that?" I said, "That's wealth, son.
Mm-hmm.
That you smelling. That
That's
that's wealth.
right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
when you smell that good wood, that long term old stuff, that's wealth, son.
Yep.
It
That's
took
it.
time to age that."
Mm-hmm.
Know,
Mm-hmm.
those type of things. And I show
Yeah.
just, just the difference in it, where it took
It does.
time that
Mm-hmm.
you have to wait. And like you said, it has to marinate. Just
Yeah.
like, yeah. My youngest one
Mhm.
definitely gets it. He has one of those big, yeah. I'm making my notes here. If you could talk about the critical and chronic illness insurance policy, is that like, and I'm going to say it, it may be, is that like Aflac? Is that what that is? Or no, not at all?
Well, yeah, Affleck has those policies. They have the critical and chronic. So critical illness says if you get cancer, have a heart attack, or have a stroke, you can be paid. Chronic means if you say you get out in a bad accident, you can no longer walk, you can't get out the bed, you know, you can't do two of the six ADLs, your activity of your daily living. Somebody's got to come and take care of you. That's when your chronic kicks in. So again, those particular policies, yeah, Aflac has been made known nationwide with the duck. But yeah, but you can definitely get them. Uh, great policies. I got my policies many years ago, never thinking I'd be diagnosed with cancer. In fact,
Of
I
course.
got it. In fact, I got it saying because I got these policies, I'll never get cancer. And when the doctor said you got cancer, I called them folks immediately. They sent me my paperwork and I got that money. Because
Well,
a lot of times you don't die, but you still got to live.
Right.
So I
Right.
didn't have to rush back to work. All my bills were paid. All
Okay.
the kids stayed in school. It's just things that, you don't think about. We didn't miss a beat.
Wow.
question:
Mhm.
if somebody has a pre-existing condition, a stroke, and will Aflac cover them, or
I don't
does
know.
it?
I don't know Affleck. I just know it
With a policy
depends.
like this.
I mean,
I don't know. Well, it depends on how long that stroke has been. Excuse me. And yeah, how long it's been, how severe it was. If it, they look at it all. They want to know why, how,
hmm,
when, where. There's a lot of different, things that go into play. Just because you've had a heart attack, that doesn't mean you can't get it again. That means maybe you get a critical illness policy 10 years after. I don't know. Different companies have their own requirements. Sometimes you get, like I said, I had cancer and I got it. I got
hmm,
another policy a year after, So, but what I did is because I knew I was going to get that policy and I know what underwriters are looking for, I made a note of everything line by line, date by date. I had 40 pages. So when I sent my application in, I sent 40 pages to the underwriter. He approved me in like 2 days. He's like, Doretta, all I had to do was read. You shared everything. I told every medication I took, every surgery I had, elected. Some surgeries was not even required, but I was like, no, because I'm triple negative. I'm BRCA2. No, we getting rid of all this stuff.
Right.
Everything that maybe could come back on another.
hmm.
No, let's handle that right now. So that's how. But then you'll have people who haven't done what the doctor has told them to do. Again, they're still not healthy with other issues. Say you're still a diabetic, but you had cancer. you're overweight and you got this. So then there's still reasons why an insurance company would say, we can't give you a lot, So again, but I knew what an underwriter would be looking for. I can think like an underwriter.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
So now let me ask you this question. So there are all these different plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So should the average person go out and get 6 different plans?
It just depends on it. This is what I do. This is my rule of thumb. If a young couple, in fact, I was talking to a young wife yesterday, husband and wife, they're in their 30s, early 30s, they got kids. I tell them to get term policies. You can get a $500,000 or $1 million term policy if you're healthy at 32, 33, a 30-year term policy for $30. Okay. Therefore, in the event of something happening prematurely, your family is taken care of. Okay. Now, as we get older and our money starts growing, we get raised, we move into a different position and what have you, then now we need to look at something a little bit more permanent. That's why you need to have more than just one insurance policy. So now as you get older, then now you're looking at getting a more permanent policy. With my term policies, say I'm dating you for a few years.
Okay.
My whole life in my universal life policies, we married, we hook up, we're together. That's my boo. I got to stay with you. Okay. So it just really depends on what it is. Now, if you have a business, you got a business partner. In the event of one of you all passing away, do you want the wife who don't know nothing about the business or the husband who don't know nothing about the business coming in talking crap? No, what you do is you get 2 term policies on each other. Same way.
Really?
Yeah. So it just really depends on what your need is. So that's why I'll sit and I'll ask you, what are you trying to accomplish? What are you doing? This young couple I talked to yesterday, they got a lot of stuff going on right now. I told them, okay, just insure the husband. Just get him a term policy. Because she's got insurance. Her mom got insurance on her years ago when she was young. Okay, cool. You hold on to that. But let's get the husband a policy because he's self-employed. That's another thing. Self-employed, of course you need it. Of course you need it. Because you don't have 401k or pension to fall back on. So you definitely need to be in some type of saving vehicle. So it just really depends on who I'm sitting across from and what their situation is.
So many variables.
Yeah, it is. It's so many different variables. Yep, because I got insurance at different times. When my kids were small, me and their dad was like, okay, who gonna raise 5 boys? They may say they love us. They may say they love their kids, but if we are because we travel a lot, so if we in a plane and we die, somebody gonna have to take care of these kids. So we had 2 large term policies. Okay. Later on, he converted his term policies into a index universal life policy.
I was going to ask, can you convert them into something?
You can convert some of them. Yep. And so my policies, I still have because we had 2 and 2. So one I'll let go at 62, which I'm almost there. And the other I'll let go at 67. But my kids are grown and I have other policies because I got other policies throughout the years. So it just really depends on where you are. And I tell people, don't get more than you can afford. I'd rather see you get something small that you can take care of because nothing makes me angrier than somebody who lapsed their policy. They go ghost. I can't find them. They don't keep their policy. And then when something happens, the family goes in the drawer. They see, oh, here is a policy. Yeah. And then they call me, hey, Doretta, my mama had insurance with you. And then I got to go on my computer and see it lapse 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 years ago. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do.
That's a horrible thing.
That's a bad one.
It happens a lot. It really does. Yeah, especially with us.
Well, here's a question. We were talking about age, and the age of when the insurance is acquired. Now, with all of these newfound let's go party and shoot each other up situations, okay, what effect has that had on the insurance industry? Because again, you're being rated by your age.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you also being rated by your circumstance? Because I've heard that if you are within a certain age bracket and you're a certain ethnicity, then your insurance is. And I said, no, that don't even sound right.
Mm-mm.
So I'm glad you're here to correct that misnomer,
Mm-mm. No,
if there is one.
no, there's no truth to that.
Okay.
Here's the thing, and I will say this: the only time an insurance company will not pay on a claim
Mm.
is if it's less than 2 years old and you lied on the application, or you die by suicide. And the other one is if you are in the act of committing a crime. I don't care if it's less than 2 years. I don't care if it's 20 years. If the policy is in force and you are in the act of committing a crime, you out here gang banging, then yeah, it ain't paying, because we're not paying for criminals. But what we will do is we'll give the family the premiums that have been put in. Because see, I'll have people say, well, they didn't pay for my baby brother. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me a little bit about it. We talking and stuff. Well, then okay, he was out here gang banging. Okay. Okay, no, we're not going to pay. We're not paying $100,000 or $50,000, and you done committed a crime. No. But
Now,
yeah,
what about
they don't look at a black man 25 in Compton. They're not looking at that.
what about the criminal status? Somebody was a felon, and they can't, just like you can't get a carry permit, you can't get this, you can't get that. What about that person?
It depends. Again, it depends on how much you're going for and what type of policy. Some policies don't ask questions, but when you start getting up in the larger amounts, then they're going to ask, have you ever been in prison? Misdemeanors, they usually don't care unless you got so many DUIs. You got so many DUIs, we're not touching you, because you're going to end up killing somebody or you're going to kill yourself. So some of that, the circumstances, some of the stuff, again, if I'm sitting with somebody, I can basically put my pencil down and say, okay, I know you want this $100,000 policy, but I'm gonna have to put you in this $10,000 or this $20,000, because right now this ain't gonna fly. But now, if you've got 10 years, 15, I just did a young man who, older man, but 15 years ago, he had some, he went to prison for 5 years, whatever. And I told him, be honest, tell me everything. Boom, 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 wrote everything down. Boom, he got his policy. But what we cannot stand is a liar.
Because eventually you're going to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, after 2 years, we don't care. If you lied and you got away with it, we don't care. But if it's within that first 2 years, oh yeah, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. But again, why? but again, just being.
She sounds like one of them criminal shows, like, oh no, we're going to get you. We're going to get you.
First 48.
First 48. Right. There you go. Right. First 48. Man, that's good. First 24. Hey, first 24. We come to get
first 24. First 2 years. We got
might as well give it up.
That's it. That's it. But yeah, it just really depends case by case. I've seen people declined, and I'm like, man, why were they declined? I talked to the underwriter. Well, yeah, Doretta, this is, and I'm like, whoa, okay, I didn't know all that, And so, because some stuff I'm not privy to know.
Right.
Once they pull up some stuff, especially like health stuff, but sometimes a person will know they have really bad health and they won't tell you.
Yeah.
And then, they look kind of crazy when I'm like, well, you didn't tell me you had this, and this,
Yeah.
So again, if you're honest with me, I can work with you. And then there's other avenues we can take.
I mean, some of this I had no flipping clue about. I swear I didn't, and I'm in shock, and I'm just pleasantly surprised. But all of it, I'm pleasantly surprised that at least you can speak to someone. You know what I mean, and that there are
Yeah.
possibly other options. That okay, if you're talking to the right person, the thing is finding the right insurance agent.
Yeah.
Here is the main thing that I'm getting out of this: the right insurance agent. Because I think the wrong insurance agent and company is the thing that's going to bottom you out anyway.
Yeah. And once you have a declination on your record from one company, usually the other companies won't touch you because they're like, okay, well, if this company declined you, why am I going to? Unless it's something real bogus. And, we're like, yeah, I don't even know why they did that. But yeah, most of the time, if we see a declination, yeah, we're like, oh, we gonna pass on this one too.
But now, if that first company denied you, and there's a declination, first of all, it's a new word. I'm gonna have to put that.
I know, right?
My Jesse Jackson, in case I get stuck on a word thing.
If I was still in the dating scene, I would start using that. I would use it in my dating life. I'm just gonna be real.
So,
I'm sorry, but you're on my declination list.
You're on my declaration list. Cause hold on.
Letting you know, I would use that.
Sue, I got this boy over here trying to holler at me. Oh, really? No, she said you on the declination list.
And I would just walk away and leave you to figure that shit out.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh my goodness! See what you done started. Okay, we got a new word. Oh Lord,
we got a new word.
Wait, I want to come on y'all. No, you on the declination. Oh my goodness! It's on like popcorn now. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the thing is that you go back in. You've gotten this declination. Damn, I just like the way that sounds. I need to put some James Earl Jones on it.
Stay focused, Chris. Stay focused.
Obi-Wan never told you. You on the declination. Okay. So what happens is
this much to get him off key. Stay focused. Chris.
Let's move, Chris.
Okay. So now what happens is you've been on this list, and the other company, if you can prove that the reason that they declined you, I go back to the hood word just so I don't get confused. Then would that be could you then get a policy? Let's say company A gave you a letter of declination because of this, and then you feel it was wrong. I come to you or whoever comes to you and they say, here, this is the letter they gave me. These are the facts. What do we do?
Now, somebody's got to be able to verify the facts. You can't just say, here's the facts. So
no, that's what I mean. You come with your letter, you come with your letter, and then you come with your supporting documentation.
Yep. And then definitely legitimate company is going to look at that, because I know insurance agents that don't like to fool with certain people. And they're not going to fight for some people.
Right.
See,
you are so politically correct when you say that.
Huh?
You are so politically correct when you say that.
As she should be.
I'm with her. All right. I'm a member of Kool-Aid gang. I know what she got.
So what I do, I'll call out, I'll talk to the underwriter, I'll talk to the medical director. Now, what if we can put this in place? What if we can show you this? What if we can see? Okay, well, bring it all in. Let's see. And then again, like I said, it is even like the when I mentioned the lady that sister had Alzheimer's, and just the doctor said, her sister has Alzheimer's, and she may want to take the test. Not that she had Alzheimer's, not that she was going to get it. So when the doctor wrote a letter saying, hey, look, I don't know where you guys saw in my notes that I said my client had Alzheimer's or is even dementia or even remotely. Yeah, that's not the case. We were able to take it to the medical director. Like, cool, great.
And
Yeah.
and you mentioned anyone with a suicide attempt is automatically declined.
Automatic declination. Yeah, there's
For
your
how many
word,
years?
interest. Huh?
For how many years?
Well, you know what? It just really depends. Some companies, some smaller companies may not look back as far as some larger companies that have more resources to do the research. But if it's on your record, and if a company see that, they will decline. So it just really depends on who's looking at it. But normally they decline that, because again, all you have to do is wait 2 years. You can get $1 million policy and kill yourself, and we got to pay.
That
So,
sounds so bleak, but okay.
I mean, this is true. In
Wait,
fact,
wait. Did you notice the whole tone of the show went straight down? It was like,
I'm
we
the
up here
grandma.
laughing, we having fun. All of a sudden, she say, "All you gotta
Wait
do is
2
wait 2 years."
I'm like, that was instructional. Okay. I get it.
I told you, I'm real. I'm a
Yes, that was very
Man,
But you know what? The reason why that was put in place is because of that very reason. Some people were in high debt. In fact, there's a guy in San Francisco, and I can't remember how many years, but it's been maybe 15 years ago, 18 years ago. But he was in a lot of debt, and he took out a policy. He made sure he paid that policy. And the day after 2 years, he took his life. And
But you know what?
his family got $2 million.
And here's the things that one of the main things I would advocate for. There is a difference in mental health and debt.
Oh, yeah.
A very big difference.
Yeah.
And
The death is the same. Suicide is the same, though.
Correct. However, there's a difference in someone who's in debt and sits and waits,
Yeah.
and someone who has a mental illness and they don't sit and look at a fucking calendar
Right.
and say, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
There
I
are
get
no
it.
dates on the wall that determine that.
Yeah.
And so I have an issue with people who penalize,
Yeah.
people who have medical issues
Right.
over
And I
people
get-
who strategically play with systems.
But now,
Right.
let me say this.
Now,
Monique.
I understand that in the end it's the same.
Right.
However, a person with a mental illness may never end up doing
Right.
that.
They may never.
May never.
Yeah. But if they
And-
have that suicide attempt, that's the thing.
But they may never, ever
They may never.
end
But
up
they got
going
it.
through with it.
Yep. Yep.
so
You're
they
right.
put that.
But the-
That's
For
weird.
the person
Yeah.
who has a financial issue. So then why then, and this is just me playing devil's advocate because of bullshit like that, and now it has my goat a little bit, then why doesn't every person with a financial issue then be denied?
Yeah. Well,
Because
because again, what happened is if you're getting a $2 million policy, believe me, we looking at your finances.
Right.
We're looking at your finances. Now, if you're getting a 10,000, we don't care about your finances. But so he had a large enough policy to where, he had to look, he had to be transparent about, his, what he made. They probably didn't see the debt, but they did see how much he made and where he lived and the wife working and the kids, but again, here's the thing. What I tell people is that if right now after COVID, we have been paying out, insurance companies have been paying out because of COVID and suicide and just the regular stuff that we normally have. The regular stuff we normally have is like a 4% death claim payout. We're up now to like 20% with COVID and suicide. In my office, there's only 20 of us in my office in Phoenix. I had a claim for suicide for my son. Another gentleman had a claim for his son, suicide. And then 2 people died from COVID. That was just employees.
Right.
So just look at the vast majority of the people you know, in the United States, and I'm going to say the world, but I'm going to say in the United States. So yeah,
Yes.
so we have definitely seen that uptrend of suicide. So we're cautious now.
Mm-hmm.
Young people are killing themselves at an alarming rate,
Yes.
and they ain't waiting 2 years. I was just we just happened to be blessed because we got our kids insurance young, but had it been, you know, within that 2 year period, Micaiah wouldn't have waited and said, "Oh man, I need to wait, you know, to this insurance kick in." No,
No,
because like you said, because you know,
that's
it's your
not what it's
mind.
about. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
But again, like I said, if it's documented that you are on medication, you've tried, you know, you've tried to die by suicide, and I don't say commit suicide because commit means a crime. Committing is a crime. Suicide is not a crime. So I always say die by suicide. So if you do that, you attempt. Statistics says you're gonna try it again.
Right.
And with these young kids, what they're doing is if they don't do it the first time one way, they're trying it another way. And they've got Google and YouTube how to do this. And they're teaching them, showing them what to do, how to do.
Their
Yeah.
So
groups and
Yeah.
all
so
types of things.
so
Yeah.
so again, if we have somebody who comes in with a mental health issue, no, it's not that we're going, we may not decline them. It's only when we see that they've had suicidal thoughts or suicidal or they've tried it, because we know medications can make you get it. We know, not get it, but we know medication can make you get in your head, you know, in your
Yes.
head. A lot of these side effects, like we were talking about earlier, a lot of the side effects,
Yes.
you know, and that's what happened to my son. I
Yeah.
didn't know all the medication that he was on had side effects. He lived, you know, in his own home. So I didn't know a lot of the medication. I didn't know they would switch one from another, from another,
Yeah.
from another. And I didn't know they had side effects. When my cousin came here, who's 30-year nurse, she's like, let me see some of his medication. She was like, well, damn, Doretta, damn, everything you had side effects of
Yeah.
suicide.
Yeah.
So you don't know. But an insurance company, when they see all those crazy medications, they can't come to a person and say, you know what, we'd like to give you insurance, but you taking all this medication that has side effects of suicide. We can't say that, you
It's
know.
supposed to help you from getting to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the hypocrisy behind it. Yeah.
I know. It
Yeah.
is.
That's it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's why, you know, like I said, you know, as much as we can do natural, you know, I'm
Absolutely.
all for that. Even with mental health, my son was so far ahead of doctors. He was talking about the psychedelic shrooms and all that, and I
Yeah.
didn't understand. And then now I'm seeing everywhere where psychedelic shrooms help anxiety.
Yeah.
Even his therapist said it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then why are y'all pumping all this junk in them?
And it's so funny you say that because my oldest son came downstairs just the other day and said that to me. And I'm like, hold on, young horse. Hold on, young horse. I'm not ready for that. I'm not
Yeah,
ready for that.
pump the brakes, right?
Yeah, but
My
you
old
know,
brain ain't ready for that. I'm 420 friendly for sure. I got that down, but I'm not. I got to have some guidance for that, young horse. I've got to have guidance for that for sure.
yeah,
But absolutely, you know, the shrooms and I've even heard some with the acid. But now I've done research, and you have to be in the right environment
right,
physically.
right.
You have to be have the right people around you.
Mhm,
Like all
mhm.
of these things have to be in the right, you know,
Exact
type
setting.
of thing.
Exactly.
Exactly. Because
I agree.
it changes the mode of what happens.
Mhm,
It
mhm.
absolutely does. And
Yeah.
so, you know, I'm sure status quo would say, oh, you shouldn't be talking about that. But I'm going to say, right quick, 1 second.
For the listener's discretion, this podcast contains strong language and adult themes that may not be suitable for children. These are not the views of the radio station or its affiliates.
Moni's going to say, fuck your status quo. Okay. I'm going to say that this is my opinion, not the opinion of anyone else. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm only a patient. I'm only one who takes the shit. I'm going to say, fuck your status quo. Because most of anybody who takes medicine, who has taken it as long as I've taken it, as much as I've taken throughout the many years since my early 20s, knows it's not to heal you. It's only to band-aid you or to make you worse, to keep you in the system. So I'll say it. I have no problem saying it. And I've said it for years. I say it publicly and I have no issue saying it. I say it wholeheartedly. And so I have always, I haven't taken, and I'll tell you because you don't know me, I haven't taken anything for my multiple sclerosis in probably 18 years. And my neurologist still to this day, when she looks at me, she's like, really? Because I have no new lesions or any of that. And when she looks at my chart, and she just said it maybe 2 weeks ago, and she's like, you should be dead. I said, yeah, here I stand. And now I have epilepsy and I have a cyst on the brain and all that new stuff. But yet here I stand still.
Right.
And she's like, and what are you doing? I said, marijuana to the fullest. How about that? To the fullest. And as little
to the fullest.
To the fullest. Absolutely. I've been an advocate for 20 years. And actually the head of the pain clinic back in Indiana is the one who told me to start doing it. Back then, he did. The medical pain pusher himself.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Even when my son was 2 years old, he was diagnosed with glaucoma, and took him to an acupuncturist. And the acupuncturist said, when he gets of age, marijuana is the best thing to keep the pressures down from the glaucoma in the eye. So, I mean, we know what it is. I mean, and that's the same thing I use going through my cancer. I was not taking narcotics. I was not going to get on that junk because I've seen too many people get hooked on it. Nope. I had a lady make me the best marijuana brownies, and man, were they good.
Yeah.
Flashback.
My kids would come in and they'd be like, Ma, you highlight it. It's just like, hey, but I don't
and
have
the brownies was good.
Side effects.
Right.
I love you guys who do. I love you guys, ladies, gentlemen, everybody who can be in the 420. I myself, and Moni knows this because we have a long-standing joke about this. I'm 65. I've never drank. I've never smoked. I've never done any drugs. I've never opened a wine cooler. Okay, let's keep it real.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the South Bronx. I grew up in the North Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx. Never, ever. Okay. So when we had
still my brother, and I love him.
Right.
My best friend is like that. She's never had anything.
And the funny thing is, we had a sponsor, and we had to do our bit for the sponsor.
City Vodka.
And so Moni, in her infinite wisdom, got the vodka.
Because we had cases of vodka.
I don't know where my share of the vodka went, but I know that I wound up with a bottle with alkaline water in it.
I poured his vodka out, rinsed it out, and I put alkaline water in his vodka.
No, you didn't pour it out. I know you weren't going to. I know you weren't going to waste that vodka, so stop saying you poured it out. Okay,
well, now I poured it out of your bottle is what I said.
She took care of you. That's all you need to know.
Exactly. So he could have his bottle.
Right. I poured it out. Now where I poured it out, none of your damn business. But
not your concern.
No. But that's what I love about this show. I love you because you come on here with a real story, a real love for what you do. And I'm gonna be making a phone call to you because the information that you gave me just justified everything I had been researching. Now it's a matter of, okay, Now that I've done my research, now that I know somebody who knows more than me, not that there's a few of them, there's quite a few, but this one knows what she's talking about. I
Right.
I need to get on board with that. This is probably the first show I've just been trying to be like I'm all ears. So thank you for that
You're so
knowledge.
welcome.
Okay.
You
I
are
am
so
I am
welcome.
extremely grateful. Absolutely, because insurance ain't my thing. And I'm always down for learning.
Mm-hmm.
Always down for learning something new. And I learned something new with everybody's on here. However, this one right here, I got to immerse myself in.
Yeah.
And I got some stuff to take back to my boys too, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Because I'm all about that generational wealth. And I didn't know about some of this stuff right here.
Yep.
And yeah. And my boys are still young enough
Mm-hmm.
we can put this into motion.
Oh yeah.
And I don't have my boys is as old as they are. They're still young, but they don't have any children yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can still make this happen and they can still have their
Yeah.
generational wealth with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
hell yeah. Yeah. I'm still we still on the one. My grandbabies and great grandchildren still can be millionaires. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
I can rest peacefully now. Tell me I can't.
That's
Thank
it.
you, ma'am. Yes, Lord. This was
Yes,
definitely
thank you.
So
Thank you.
welcome. I have enjoyed it.
I am so glad. Well, I have another question for you. Let me get back over to my other screen that I ask all of my guests before I let. Well, first, let me ask: is there anything else that you need to share with the people before you leave?
No, I think we have really covered a lot of information, which is
I
great.
think so too.
I,
Hmm.
I, I
Hmm.
like that. I like that. Yeah.
I
How
do.
do
Oh,
people reach you?
Well, I
well,
think
yeah, we
someone
put it
just
up
put it
there.
up on the
Yeah,
board. She
we
put it
put
on the
it up there.
board.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
my
do have
email.
it up there
Okay,
too.
now this is this is the Micaiah E. Thomas Memorial Fund if you want to participate and give to the fund. But my email and my website, they're all the same. It's www.ladiesleavinglegacies.com. That's the website. My email is Doretta at Ladies Leaving Legacies. So you can definitely reach me that way. And when you go on my website, you can actually book an appointment. There's a place where you can just book an appointment. Yep.
That's
Okay.
wonderful. Yeah, that's the information that needs to be shared. Those two
Hmm.
pieces right there,
Yep.
because with your foundation, you're building a foundation to provide for other folks so that they have some kind of help in their current situations.
Hmm.
So I like that part. I like that part. Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you before you leave us: do you feel empowered?
Most definitely. Most definitely. I've had so many people who have poured into me. I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't had those people, and I know I'm empowered by just my circle, my friends. I believe God brings people in our lives to do just that. So
I
yeah,
agree. Do
hmm
you feel like you've empowered others tonight?
yes. Oh, most definitely. Well, definitely Chris. If nobody else, Chris. Chris got
I'm gonna tell you straight out. Definitely, definitely. But I don't care what y'all say. I'm still eating my peach cobbler. But yeah, definitely
And
empowered.
then you're gonna hit Planet Fitness.
Quiet. Crickets.
Crickets.
Crickets. Crickets. I did not mute that. He's gone.
No, he didn't. Mm-mm.
He's gone.
I mean, now see. Why y'all want to mess it up? Can I just enjoy my peach cobbler? Why we got to get the planet and all these other folks involved?
She's trying to help you get some wealth before you leave this earth, but that's fine. Let him do
Look,
his
I
thing.
understand. I
Let
do
him do his
understand.
thing. That's fine. We have enjoyed having you on the show today, and we want everyone
Definitely.
to remember that you are definitely
Mhm.
one of the Empowered Magazine's honorees. And
Yes.
every quarter, Empowered Magazine highlights the accomplishments of women just like yourself and
Mhm.
many others. And if you know of anyone, please go to their website, empoweredmagazine.com, and nominate
Yes.
someone just like the lady that you see on the screen right now and all the others that have joined us. Definitely. And we want to thank you again. And we kept you on here a long time, honey. You hung out with us.
I
You
know. I looked down. I was like, wait a minute. That ain't 20 minutes. We've been 20 minutes a long time ago. Hour
that's
and
all
20
right.
minutes ago. But
That's
that's
all
That's
right.
what happens.
when
That's
you
what
know
happens.
you're having a good, yeah. That's when you're
Yes.
having a
I
good
told you we're free flowing. We are free
That's it.
flowing. We have a
That's
good
it.
time.
I'm all for it.
That's right. WUBI Ubiquity Radio listeners, thank you for hanging in there with us. Stay with us. And we're going to go ahead and release you to have a good night. And you are more than welcome to come back and hang out with us anytime. And
Please
thank
come
you
back.
so much. Yes.
Please come
Thank
back.
you.
Please. I've never said this. Please come back
He hasn't.
because you are a wealth. No, you're a wealth of knowledge unto yourself.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and
thank you.
and for,
I am delighted to come back anytime.
and then I want to
And
find out. Can I nominate her for next quarter's person of the month or however y'all do that?
if you start going to Planet Fitness regularly and give up the peach cobbler
And wait, and give up the peach cobbler?
and give up the peach
And give,
Come
cobbler.
on now, come
maybe she
on
don't need
now.
to be nominated.
Man, man. Wait. I'm trying to get you to I'm trying to get you to do an Obama, get a second term. You know what I'm saying?
She's
Girl,
trying to get you on a second term too, but look here. Here it is.
but wait a minute. But all right. How about Planet Fitness? And I'll bring the proof that I'm going. But y'all let me have my peach cobbler.
Okay,
No,
that'll work.
no.
No,
I
no,
said no.
yeah, I think that'll work because you can work it off. Here's what I had a trainer many years ago, and she said, Doretta, when you drink, there's so many calories, so much sugar, and then she'd work me like a horse. I'm like, you know what? Forget this. I ain't drinking no more. If this is what it is, then forget it.
But he ain't got no trainer and he ain't gonna work hard.
And
No,
that
that's not true.
sugar, the
That's not true.
butter. But no, I love peach cobbler. And I don't, but again, I'm gonna do what I need to do. But I do love me some peach cobbler.
See, you didn't even notice. I've already finished one bottle of water, Moni. When have you ever seen me drink water on this show?
So anyway, them brownie points ain't working with me.
And
Doretta,
here's
thank
the
you.
second bottle of water that I'm getting ready to open.
Yeah,
All right.
I just muted him. I'm not buying that crap. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I appreciate you, and you have
I
been a wealth of
thank you
knowledge.
for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank
You
you.
enjoy
Oh,
yourself and have a
yes.
great night. Thank
You
you.
have a good night as well. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Chris, you are a hot mess.
What? Because I mean, look, let me tell you something. It's not, me, not often that I'm gonna sit here and listen to somebody. I'm like, yeah, okay, I know I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check. I love it when empowered people are not afraid to empower others. And
I
that's
don't think
just
anybody
what
this
she
far
did.
has been afraid to empower others. I think they all have been willing to empower others now.
Oh no,
I
they
think,
have. They have.
but I think that was just above and beyond.
Yes,
I
it
think that,
was.
and because it was insurance, and again, people find insurance boring, and there was nothing fucking boring about any of that.
Mm-mm,
Zero.
mm-mm.
000.
I
So
didn't
now
see nothing.
I need to get some things in before we leave here, right quick. I need to get some things in because okay, definitely our favorite nonprofit that we are supporting right now, United Dance Team of Buckeye, Arizona. They are leaving this weekend, guys. So this is your last chance to go ahead and help. Well, you have until Friday to go ahead and do your donations to help them out because remember, they were invited to go dance at Together We Win in North Las Vegas this weekend, September 17th, honey, and they are putting in that work. They're starting to pack their bags. I talked to Miss Shay today. They are starting to pack their bags.
There you
Okay.
go.
Look, get your Dutch brothers. You see, I didn't say Brooks brothers this time. Your Brooks, your Dutch brothers, give up one Dutch brothers, one Starbucks, one Happy Meal, something like that, and go ahead and donate a little something to that team that's out there dancing it up. Those young girls that have made it to North Las Vegas this weekend to help them just have a joyous trip and really have a good time and put a smile on their face. In all seriousness, they are a nonprofit. So if you need to get that tax write off, go ahead and get it. perfect time. We're drawing close to the end of the year, that last quarter. Go ahead and do it. Let me put that information down, scrolling on the bottom right there. You can go to our going down to my Facebook page and you can see their flyer there and get that information also, where you can go ahead and donate. PayPal, Cash App is right there. United Dance Team. Again, this is the last week for that. And I think we're going to probably do Raisin Brit after this.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do raisin bread after this. I think that's what we're gonna do. So I wanted to make sure and get that up there. And I don't know if you even paid attention because I don't think you were paying attention to the screen for our gracious sponsors who are scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. I don't think you paid attention to that at all,
I
did you?
saw it earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
To make sure you go and check all of them out that are scrolling across there. You got Moni Loves Effects, WUBI Ubiquity Radio, Chris Lay Media, and Lighthouse Styling and Beauty. Make sure and check all of them out and give them a holler. Make sure and go and subscribe, like, and follow their pages on all your social media networks because they help to make this show possible for you guys in front and behind the screen. Okay. And there are also opportunities for new sponsors always and forever. So definitely contact us if you would like to see your name put up here across here and or your products. That's always a possibility. You got anything else for the people? I think you need to say goodbye to somebody, sir.
You know what? I'm gonna do it a little different tonight.
Let's hear what
I want to say a thank you to my wife Ellen, who empowers me each and every day.
every
But this
day.
past weekend, I had more empowerment. Our son, our oldest son, drove down 19
Okay.
hours so he
Wow.
could cook. Terry, I love you, son. He drove 19 hours so he could make sure his mama had her favorite meal. And
What
he
was that?
cooked it himself.
What did he cook?
Smothered pork chops.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Smothered
That's some
pork
good
chops.
stuff.
And he drove 19 hours, went to the store, got all of he needed. Hey, Pop, I need to get in the kitchen. Look, I know you dog. Go ahead. And he went in there and turned it up just so his
What a
mom
good
could
stuff.
have. Yes. So to my wife, Ellen, thank you again for the empowerment. Son, thank you for letting me know that I'm doing something right. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad that you're here. Thank you. Love you.
I guess I should say thank you to my husband and my children. Thank you guys for all you do. Thank you to my husband for being quiet out there. He's working on some music
Wait,
and
Belo's home
he's
and
home right
quiet
now.
and quiet.
He wasn't happy about that. He wasn't happy about that part.
Oh, okay. Because I'm
He
like,
wasn't
wait a
happy.
minute now. What's really
Yeah,
going on?
he was not happy about that part. But yeah, he is out there and he is quiet. He's working on some music and I'll see him is upstairs. And of course Malik is in Indiana, but I am
Mm,
grateful to all my boys and to my husband in there for being quiet and keeping the dogs quiet during the show. It's one day a week, but they hassle me for the little bit of time that I say, everyone be quiet. Don't slam any doors. I don't want any dogs. I don't want any sound. So thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I do appreciate it. It means a lot to me for the little bit of support. All
all
right,
day.
guys. I do also, let me come back over here right quick before I forget that last bit of information. I want to put up for our guest next week that we have.
Do we have a
Our guest
drum roll
next
going?
is Melinda Silva. Melinda Silva. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correct because you all know I will mess up a good name every time. Every time. You can count on me to do that for you. But next week on 9/21/22, we have our next Empowered Magazine guest, Honoree, is Melinda Silva. So looking forward to having her on the show and having a good time with us. And again, WUBI Ubiquity Radio, thank you for hanging in there with us. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all the other platforms. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You will have a replay of this show on Monday. And of course, it'll replay and it'll be out there for you to watch as many times as you like. We appreciate you guys. Click subscribe, follow, friend, all the other good stuff, and make sure to share it and tell a friend to come on back and check us out. And that's about it.
That's it.
That's it. Look, we're going to take you out how we brought you in with our boy Anthony Frazier and Vibrations. And we're out. Have a good one.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Can we stop the arguing? Can we take a moment where we can calm down? It's just so exhausting. Swinging in the wind, going round and round. I know that we won't say sorry. You beg and I plead, but my heart can't beat until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. I know that we won't say sorry until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations, baby. I see me addressing you. Let me put the smile right onto your face, tracing every inch of you. Using my tongue to find your happy place. I know that we can't play naughty. You beg and I plead, and you pull my heartstrings until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. I know that we won't say sorry until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations, baby. Until I feel the vibrations.